Aloha beautiful beings, thanks for tuning in. So today I just wanted to talk about the Gemini Solar Eclipse that's coming up on Wednesday night / Thursday AM rising, depending on where you are. And it's definitely a very powerful activation. It's a new gateway into a completely new cycle of, eclipses mark. So when an eclipse happens, it's the sun and the moon aligning at complete center point of the earth. So it's like a 0 point reset, because usually you know how like the moon spins around the earth and it's not always directly in the center, but when it's an eclipse it's like moving from one point to the next. It's like directly in the middle. That's why it aligns with the north node and the south node of the moon as well, which is the direction of our destiny and our fated evolution of the soul. So this solar eclipse is going to be a very powerful activation. For those of y'all that are already feeling it, I'm definitely getting more lightheaded than usual, and I feel like it's definitely a ascension symptom, as well as ringing in the ears, like almost non-stop. And these are all like spiritual people who are spiritually tuned into that. It's definitely a good sign that you're aligning with these new energies that are coming on this planet. So me personally, I like new moons a lot more than full moons, because it's definitely, I like just the feeling of being reborn and cleansed and having a completely new start moving forward. And from here, with the solar eclipse, you get to rewrite your destiny. You get to plant seeds for the next 6 months. It's going to be developed until November this year. This is an opportunity for you to rewrite your entire future and to be introspective, because Mercury is in retrograde, and be introspective and really feel into what it is that your soul really desires. So we have a lot of air and water energy at this time. So Venus just moved into Cancer. Venus is all about the feminine nurturing principles, and being in Cancer is definitely a good place for it, because it's teaching us not only boundaries, but also it's making a trine with Jupiter and Pisces, which is also a recent transit. So Jupiter and Pisces is really dissolving the illusions between self and other, and the spiritual and the material world. It's where everything just feels like it's touching. So this is definitely a time where our psychic abilities and our psychic gifts are being developed, and rapidly so, because Jupiter is a planet of expansion, abundance, and is definitely a good planet to be in Pisces, because it's the original ruler of Pisces. So now is really the time to be tuning into yourself and feeling more and learning to be in the mind less. But Mercury retrograde is an introspective time, and Saturn and Pluto are also in retrograde. This is also an intense time, because Pluto is definitely doing the inner transformation work for us, but that doesn't mean, and Pluto is opposing Mars. So Mars is like, we want to take that external outwards actions of what we want to do to get to where we want to be, but Pluto is like, slow down, you got to be focused on the inner work, because everything is created from inside out. Like once you get right in yourself, then everything in the external can effortlessly manifest. And Gemini season is also about this instantaneous energy where literally anything can manifest at any second, and it's where time doesn't really exist, because Saturn is retrograde. So Father Time is turning inwards and making us look at our karma that we've done in the past, looking at our past mistakes, looking at areas where we limit ourselves, and also like old beliefs and narratives in our head that we feel like we're not enough or something. This is a time to really be breaking through that, and by becoming more introspective and realizing that every action that you do is actually, it's the intention behind the action that's more so than the action itself. So that's the Pluto and Mars opposing energy. So you really want to be just tuning inwards and being very clear within yourself, because the lightheadedness that I've definitely been feeling, it's like an everyday thing. And I know some people say that being lightheaded is like a medical thing, and like low blood pressure or certain things like that, but Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius rules the blood circulation in our body as well. So being lightheaded, I'm just going to say from a spiritual perspective, isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that your mind is being more cleared out, and that your blood is being less stagnated, so you're ready to receive new information that's going to be coming in. So I don't know if that's just me. Saturn retrograde in Aquarius is trining the new moon, as well as doing a loose trine with Mercury retrograde. And this is really a time to be rewiring our thought patterns, and to delete old ways of thinking and just old ways of doing things. And it's time to get clear on what it is that you want to move. And once you are able to have a clear vision of what you want the next 6 months to look like for this eclipse cycle until Sagittarius season, which is going to be the next eclipse, then it's time for you to really get clear on that in yourself. And Mercury retrograde isn't a bad thing. It's actually a good time to really like slow the mind down, because Gemini is already really fast. So it's definitely an opportunity, and I would say a blessing for us to have this Mercury retrograde right now. I also want to say that Saturn retrograde is doing a square with Uranus and Taurus, and Uranus and Taurus is definitely the energy of just random things that might just appear suddenly, that's very unexpected. So when we have this square, it's definitely adding a lot of tension, and it might feel like things aren't moving, but then suddenly it would move like really fast all of a sudden. So it's like it might not be like so smoothly happening, but it's like the energy builds up and it's released. It builds up and it's released. So we're in the square for that. Another thing is Mars is going to be moving into Leo a day after the eclipse. So right now, before Mars moves into Leo, it's time for us to be introspective within ourselves. You know, that Cancer energy is all about being safe in the home so we can process our emotions fully, and also like looking at our relationships with Venus in Cancer. We gotta look at the relationships that water you versus the ones where you feel depleted from, and creating new boundaries out of that. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share for this solar eclipse in Gemini. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see more astrology videos in the future. Yeah, thanks for tuning in today. Peace.